through life fully awake, yet internally untouched by the moment they inhabit. They respond on time, speak clearly, and function well, yet something inside remains strangely absent. Presence for them becomes a performance rather than an experience felt from within. Psychology describes this state as emotional disconnection without visible collapse. It is not sadness and it is not peace, but a quiet absence of emotional weight. Many who feel this way learned early that emotions were inconvenient or unwelcome. Over time, expression became optional and emotional presence slowly became unnecessary. The mind adapts by staying alert while the emotional system steps back. This adaptation once protected them from disappointment or emotional overload. Later, the protection remains even when danger no longer exists. Daily life continues smoothly, but emotional depth feels strangely unreachable. Moments that should feel meaningful register only as neutral information. This creates the sensation of watching life rather than living it. Psychologically, this state is often rooted in long-term emotional suppression. The nervous system learns to remain functional while muted. Outward stability masks an inner emotional flatness that feels difficult to explain. They rarely describe distress because nothing feels sharp enough to name. This absence often feels more confusing than pain ever did. Others may admire their calm without seeing its cost. Inside, emotional signals arrive faintly, then disappear. This pattern is not intentional, nor is it a conscious choice. It is a learned internal rhythm shaped by years of adaptation. Silence becomes familiar even when it feels empty. Some confuse this state with maturity or emotional strength. In reality, it reflects emotional systems paused rather than resolved. The self remains intact, but distant from its own emotional signals. Feeling present without feeling alive creates a subtle existential distance. Time passes, yet moments fail to anchor into memory with depth. Life feels real, but not fully inhabited. This experience often goes unnoticed because it lacks visible crisis. The absence is quiet, steady, and socially acceptable. Yet internally, something essential remains disconnected. Psychology recognizes this state as emotional detachment rather than disorder. It reflects how deeply the mind can adapt to emotional environments. Not all adaptations restore themselves. Once conditions change, some people remain functional while emotionally distant for years. They do not feel broken, only quietly disconnected. The world continues to move while they observe without resistance. This state rarely demands attention, which is why it persists. Emotional absence can become an identity rather than a condition. Understanding begins when this numbness is seen, not judged. Awareness does not immediately restore feeling, but it alters perception. The absence itself becomes something observable. Being present without feeling alive is a psychological adaptation, not a failure. Sometimes recognizing the quiet distance is the first sign of inner movement.